Today we discuss geopolitics of energy transformation, and my partner for this discussion is Daniel Scholten, professor at Delft University of Technology. Daniel, what is in this debate for Europe? You are based in Europe, so what you would say, geopolitics of energy transformation should be a subject for Europeans, or should be a subject of inspiration, or also some part of worries?
I think it will become a subject of, for Europeans, whether we want it or not. It's something that, if we take climate change serious, if we want to become, exploit renewables industrially, this is a matter that we have to address. I think we have quite some internal divisions on. For some countries, renewables is typically a win-win issue. Why? It's good for security of supply, and it's good for the climate, it's for air pollution, etc. And it's also good for, let's say, their industrial gains. For others, that latter part, industrial gains, might not materialize so much. So there's typically a division here that needs to be addressed. The pursuit of global leadership, industrial leadership, is something. How to do this in the face of the United States or China, other big competitors. There are big issues surrounding, let's say, our neighborhood policy, how we will deal with Russia, Ukraine, Turkey, the Eastern Mediterranean, Northern Africa. If we are going renewables, then you will think that global entanglements become less. The trade flows are much shorter, closer to home. So this will bring a lot of new life to our immediate neighbors. So lots of decisions to be made, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you see Europe, how it's structured, so it's member countries and European Commission, there is a council. Who then should drive from Europeans this energy globalization or energy transformation process? Who should be the main driver in it?
It's actually a difficult one. I think if we are to succeed, it's pretty much everybody. But I would prefer a European approach for the simple reason that I don't think any of the individual member states has the size or capacity to really globally compete, to get it off the ground sufficiently. Well, except for the countries who have hydropower, lots of hydropower, stuff like that. Yeah. You said you had another part of that question. I forgot about that one.
It's about, should Commission be in the driving seat, or Germany?
I would very much prefer. No, I would very much prefer that the Commission would put forward, let's say, a European blueprint of how this future energy system would have to function, how it deals with the interconnection between various countries, what the roles and responsibilities of these countries are in European interconnection. So it would be nice if they would take more of a leading role, provide a sort of, not just a set of targets, percentages of so much renewables, but really a blueprint of how this energy system, from a, let's say, physical perspective, gas pipelines, electricity grids, how this all should look like in various stages of this transition. So you have actually something to work towards, more concrete than just percentages, which are left to the member states actually to execute, with all the risks of member states going in different directions.
There was a focus that, Europe is in the stage of being smaller and smaller. Our GDP is smaller, our number of people compared to global population is smaller. Is this energy transformation also diminishing our importance in the world, or is giving a new chance?
A bit of both, I guess. Now, I do think that if you look in the long-term history, if you go really long term, I think this resurfacing of China, India perhaps in the future, I think the world is moving back to a state which was pre-industrialization, where Europe was not the center of global economics. And that is something where we, of course, have to be very careful about. And, renewables is an industry, a future industry, just like you have all this ICT, web, not the websites, but how's it, the big data, stuff like that. There are growth industries where you could actually score points, but it's not easy. I think the competition is ahead for the simple reason that they do have political unity, actually, and makes it a lot easier to implement certain policies without having to wait for all the different member state interests. Yeah.
Professor Scholten, thank you very much for this conversation, and thank you for coming to Florence.